guys, and welcome back to Couch Critics. I'm Lamia.
And I'm Ruby, and today we're reviewing Lucy.
Yes, it's a throwback video. It's a movie
Yeah.
that came out years ago.
2014?
And it stars Morgan Freeman and Ruby's favorite actress, Scarlett Johansson.
Yes. And yeah, I love Scarlett Johansson. It's a movie about a girl who gets kidnapped with her friend, and it's about smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
They try to just um, get them through the airport, and to do that, I think they implanted in the actress, in Lucy, the actress portrayed by Scarlett Johansson. And at some point, she gets beat by the people who kidnapped her, and so the drugs get all into her body.
Dispersed.
Yeah, and then she starts developing like she uses her brain's full potential. And the movie is basically about using our brain's full potential. There's a theory that we only use the 10% of it. So it was a way of like trying to imagine what would happen if we use all of it.
Yeah, basically, as you said, what happened is that it changed her chemical balance.
Yeah.
By ingesting chemicals. So this made me think, like, are they trying to push people to like try drugs so that their brains work better?
I don't think that's how it works. Don't do drugs.
You lose more percentage of brain capacity.
Actually. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how accurate this information is. Like, from the research that I did, it's definitely a myth, and like we do actually use more than 10% than our brain capacity.
Yeah.
And I feel like the movie kind of is all about presenting this question and like asking ourselves, are we capable of more? And if so, how far are we capable to go to just like get that more?
Yeah, I personally do think that there's parts of our brains that we don't fully use. And the way I try to explain it to myself is when we're under a lot of pressure, we start remembering things that, like, let's pretend you're preparing for an exam and you're doing an exercise. I think when you're doing your exam, that's when you'll be focused better because you're under a certain amount of pressure. But I also think that we use more than 10% of our brain because our brain is responsible of our heartbeats, of how, like, the functioning of everything else. So I think there's parts of our brains that we use without noticing that we're using them.
Yeah, and also, like, speaking of stressful situations, aka exams. No, speaking of other stressful situations, like whenever I watch a lot of crime documentaries, and like sometimes you hear people having these crazy responses that like actually save their lives, and they always, most of the time, they say that like they would never have thought that they would have acted this way to save themselves. And yeah, I feel like certain parts of our brains are activated during certain situations, and maybe that's for the better, because like imagine being in a flight or a fight or flight situation all the time. That would be draining, I think. But yeah, at the same time, it just pushes me to think, like, maybe if we could use more parts of our brain, maybe that would help with mental illnesses and like people who suffer from that.
I don't know if it would help or if it would make it worse.
Really?
I really don't know because I have this is very biased and very subjective, and I'm just speaking off of my brain right now. But I think that people who have certain mental illnesses, they have some, like, maybe not everybody, and this is not research, but some people have like a very high brain capacity. Some people get hyper focused on things in ways, and they end up being able to do things that any person with like an average a normal capacity wouldn't be able to do. So I think sometimes using our full brain can cause us trouble and can cause us to overthink. Like, let's imagine if you could remember every single thing in your life, how I personally would struggle with that. That would be very saturated. And imagine like remembering all the bad things and all the things you don't actually want to remember. I think it would be a bit troubling. So yeah,
I agree. Yeah. And going back to the movie, Scarlett Johansson, this is, I think, the only movie that I watched of her. I'm not counting the Phoenician Scheme, because she had like a small role in it. But I haven't watched her in any Marvel. Did you watch? Did you see her in Marvel?
That's how I discovered her. I
Yeah.
love the Black Widow. I think
Okay.
I internalized her personality at
Okay.
some point. I was a huge fan. The second Iron Man is the reason why I got into the whole Marvel things, and it's because it's the one that introduced me to Black Widow, aka the character portrayed by Scarlett Johansson. And then I started watching more of her movies. She did a lot of Woody Allen's movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
which is a bit questionable, but yeah, she did Match Point, which I think was a great movie. We should definitely review it. It's amazing. I think it's also a thriller,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think all of the I Lucy is also a thriller.
Yeah.
But if I would watch it today, I wouldn't consider it as a thriller.
No, it would be funny because, like,
Yeah,
I feel like when it came out, it was this very cool, sassy movie with this very cool, edgy actress, and like
yeah,
everyone was like, "Wow, uh, maybe I could use more of my brain." But right now, with like, with more research and like just looking back, you do realize, you do see how futile it was, and
yeah.
how exaggerated it was.
Yes, and it's as you mentioned in the beginning of the movie, it's one of the first movies that's questionable about the drug use because it's in all of the movies that we've reviewed, Beautiful Boy, The Wolf of Wall Street, we see the side effects of the drugs, and in
Totally.
this movie, we it just makes it look like a fairy tale. Like,
It's
oh,
it
what if I
yeah,
can
it's kind of
teleport because of it?
glamorized in some
Yeah,
way. It's definitely something that's being suggested by this movie.
yeah. I feel it's very representative of the early 20s where all the
Yeah,
2000 where all the celebrities were also like doing a lot of drugs, and I feel like nowadays we don't see that as much on like
because
it's I feel like people understood the side effects and nobody wants to be associated with that anymore.
I feel like it depends on the drugs. I love how this conversation went like completely went a different way, but like I feel like it depends on where you are and like the drugs
Yeah.
that you're referring to, because like some drugs are literally legal
Yeah.
in some places, and others are more socially acceptable, and others are like uh, very frowned on, and yeah, it depends. But like to me, they're all bad.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. You don't want to go in that route,
You're
and
not gonna have superpowers. Like,
no, you're not. You're gonna lose more brain cells,
yes.
and you're gonna be more stupid. I think. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's Lucy. I also loved Morgan Freeman's role.
Hmm.
He's portrays a scientist who wrote a lot of articles, and in the movie, Lucy ends up reading all of them in a fraction of a second.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she ends up like being incarnated in a computer. I really didn't understand the ending of it, but yeah, I think Morgan Freeman has always great roles. I'm a fan of his as
Mhm.
well. So yeah,
I think that sums it up for Lucy.
let us know what you guys thought about the movie when it came out, or
Yes.
watch it if you haven't yet.
And let us know if you think that we're already using our full capacity, brain capacity, or not. And please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next
Next
week.
week, bye.
Bye.